All right, we back with another one, bro. Yo, what's up with my Pearl Love family? Get it ready, bro. Come on now. Black Balloons. Something going on with Jay-Z, folks. Hit the like button, subscribe button. Shout out Black. Everybody had a smooth week, folks? Everybody good, folks? Let me know in the comments, bro. Y'all straight? Come on now. Let's get into it.
All right, y'all. We back with another video, man. Y'all already know what's going on, all right? Now, some of y'all may have seen that interview Jay-Z recently did with GQ magazine, right? No, he didn't talk about anything crazy. To me, he just kind of ran around a bunch of subjects. And also, they get people, you know, who's trustworthy to do those type of interviews. No matter if they're younger, older, they're not going to ask any uncomfortable questions. They may hint at some things, but they're not going to really ask the questions that you want to hear, or else Jay-Z wouldn't agree to the interview in the first place, right? Pretty sure he knows the gist of the questions that are going to get asked to some degree, right? Or he just expects it to be proper, properly done, right? Now, one thing I will say, some of the photos that they took for the shoot and the interview, the whole GQ process, was very dark. Not usually something, I've seen in the past with other artists. And also, Jay-Z could be on a run to kind of soften his name, definitely with some of the things that he's been mentioned in lately, Epstein files, a few other things here and there. But it's very odd because throughout Jay-Z's career, he's essentially made it to the top of the industry. One of the biggest devil puppets of all time.
Devil puppet is crazy.
Does everything expected of him. And I haven't seen Jay-Z, promote too much of the symbolism throughout his career. Yeah, you got him throwing up the rock sign, that super old, picture that the entire conspiracy world has used for years, where he throwing up the rock triangle and he covering his one eye. But it's really subtle with Jay-Z. He doesn't really have to do that kind of stuff as much as some of the young initiated artists, right? So I thought it was really interesting, this shoot, especially this picture on the screen. Like, a lot of these photos are just really dark. The theme behind the photo shoot is really dark. Now, in this video, I think the most obvious is this one right here. And, you can kind of tell they did a couple of different themes for the shoot. But this was by far the most blatant right here to capture that one eye God, look, that one eye salute that we talk about in probably every video that we've done. Very blatant right here. And this is something you usually don't see from Jay-Z. So I'm questioning this interview and the true purpose of it. Or maybe he knows he has to do some of this stuff to, get back in those good graces, or just be able to even go on a run that he's trying to go on. I think he even has a big concert coming up as well. It's like when they want to get back in that light, they got to promote that symbolism regardless. But I don't know. I just thought it was weird that Jay-Z was actually doing this. I mean, we know what he's a part of. We know, what he represents. His soul is with Satan. So we know that. But I thought this was interesting. So I wanted to play y'all a couple of clips. One clip from the guy, D. Haven, where he talks about Jay-Z basically being a warlock and that he puts spells on people by way of words. I definitely
heard that.
So with that being said, I'm going to stop talking. Let's go ahead and jump into this clip, y'all. Check this out.
You know what I'm saying? That's the effect Jay have on these guys and shit. They get delusional and can't focus, and next you know they can't get in the game. or no whatever. But man, with the knowledge he got, man, he shouldn't even be talking about being broke. And not that he said he broke.
So one thing I thought that was interesting that you said is he got a spell, like he can put spells on people.
Yeah, it is a spell.
Jay can put spells on people. Is it because he can put words together? And
Yeah.
I can make your reality something different because of mine.
It's words, right? It's words, right? His words he influenced a generation of trying to get money on how to make it, how you supposed to look, how much money you supposed to get, what kind of clothes you supposed to buy. You know what I'm saying? That's all embezzled in your game, in his plan. Yeah, that's mesmerized. That La Familia forever, we La Familia forever. He said that with Jaz-O and all of them, so they really running with it. They living it. So when it comes like it's all illusion, you like, wait, what happened? I thought if one falls, we be each other crutches. And La Familia forever, and Bleek will always be a millionaire for life. And what happened?
Now, real quick, before I play another clip, I didn't want to lose train of thought, but I thought that was very interesting because you could almost say that about any rapper that has major influence, right? Everything they do is a spell. The music is a spell. You know, the influence itself is a spell. I mean, they're influencing kids to be exactly like them. And that's very, very well something spiritual. That's on a spiritual level. You would think like, how does this guy influence me? I've never seen him. I've never heard him in real life, you know, but I'm influenced to be like him, do everything like him, you know. As D. Haven was talking about, like he promised his crew to be millionaires for life, you know, hit him with that wordplay when he knew none of them would last with him, you know. He knew none of them would be able to have the chance to live the life that he's living. I mean, basically that's a spell. You know what I'm saying? You create this type of environment for people when really you know that at the end of it, it's just going to be you standing. But it's not because you survived it and you just came out on top. It's just because it was always going to be that way because you were going to make it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like false promises to people. It also makes me think about John Todd and those old clips that surfaced YouTube for a very long time. I've played them as well, you know, about which language and how music is recorded in which language, you know, all the way back to the Beatles, Tavistock Institute, how that whole thing was orchestrated. But it makes me think about that as well. And, you know, I mean, we don't have to be as deep and say every single bar that Jay-Z wrote was, you know, for initiated witches. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to go that deep, but it kind of implies that it's the same thing. You know, like these people are able to influence, you know, and gain this type of status in the world by way of spells. I liked that clip because it was just deeper than his music. His entire come up, you know, was a spell, you know, to the people that was around him. All of that stuff lifted him up. Even if he was never the type of guy that he rapped about, oh, you know, Marcy Projects, you know what I'm saying? Pushing weight, doing this and doing that. Even if he was never that guy, he put a spell on the people around him to lift him up. You know what I'm saying? Like put him on a pedestal. And he becomes Jay-Z from Marcy Projects. You know what I'm saying? It's very interesting, but let's get into another clip of the internet reacting. Check this out.
Nicki Minaj is literally so smart. Based upon everything that we seen happening this week alone, Nicki Minaj knew something was up. If you guys remember, back in September, Nicki Minaj announced her album was coming out in March. She gave y'all, what is that? 6 months. She gave y'all 6 months to come up with the bull crap storylines and bull crap news articles and bull crap everything that y'all was gonna put out. And y'all did exactly what she thought y'all was gonna do. Jay-Z, the man who was allegedly named inside of the files for allegedly doing some things with that young lady, is going on a promo tour this week. The week that Nicki Minaj is supposed to be dropping her album, he's going on a promo tour where he's promoting not only his concert, but he's also sitting down doing interviews, trying to push the narrative that nobody should be battle rapping or attacking each other in raps anymore. Mind you, he put Kendrick Lamar on stage to go ahead and violate Drake in front of the entire world by calling him all types of pedophile. Yeah, You did that, Jay-Z. You put Kendrick in front of the whole world to do that. You did it. But if it's one thing about Nicki Minaj, is this woman is so smart, because if y'all remember, Nicki Minaj also said she will not be releasing her album until her contract is renegotiated and until she tell you about all the sabotage this Rico is finding out about Billboard. And like we stated before, Nicki Minaj has been on Jay-Z's neck for the last year or two, every single week, every single month, mentioning Jay-Z. So for Jay-Z not to mention her not one bit in that interview was extremely weird. However, of course, you got Elliot Wilson coming out and dick-sucking Jay-Z like he always does. He even had the nerve to unprovoked go online and put Onika and get half a bar in response to Jay-Z not mentioning Nicki Minaj's name at all in that interview. But honestly, this is why Nicki Minaj violated this man 2 years, 3 years ago. Because all you do is dick suck for Jay-Z. All you do is let Jay-Z climb on your back. That's all that you do. And if y'all remember correctly, Kai Cenat had to even check this man because you look like a fool. All you do is all over Jay-Z, like relax. But like we've been saying, Nicki Minaj might tell a joke, but she never tells a lie. Because if y'all haven't realized, every single one of these happen every single time. It's like clockwork. It's like clockwork. And if y'all want to continue to stay blind to it, then y'all continue to stay blind to it. But let's just think about it. Between Jada Pinkett Smith coming out, between the OnlyFans owner passing away, between the articles about Miss Deb and all of that coming out about Nicki Minaj, and then Jay-Z popping out for an interview. Yeah, Nicki Minaj ain't never lied.
You're going to see some stuff from Jay that's going to make you forget all about the nasty things you've heard him being accused of. I don't know if they're true, but everything you heard that you were like, I hope not, and you were thinking about it, it will be erased from your mind. It's like the Men in Black, that little pen when they could snap it.
I don't know when Academics said that exactly. I'm not sure he said that after the GQ magazine. That might have been before. And it piqued my interest because, you know, he kind of called out what he's doing right now. He said, you're going to see something that's going to make you forget all about the nasty stuff that he's been accused of. And if y'all remember, in 2024, he was a part of one of those lawsuits with Diddy from the MTV Music Awards show back in the year 2000. And allegedly, him and Diddy, or him and somebody, they raped a 13-year-old girl. So that is what Jay-Z, I don't want to show the interview because it may get copyrighted, but there was a part of the interview with GQ where Jay-Z was talking about how that lawsuit made him feel in 2024. He had uncontrollable anger. And he was like, you know, when you accuse somebody of that, you got to be sure of that, or at least that's what it used to be. And he was like, especially with a guy like me, because he said he learned from the streets that you don't touch, you know, little ones, and you don't touch women, you don't touch parents, you know that most people go by. It's not everyone goes by that, but you know, so he was talking about how frustrated it made him. Now, that case was dismissed by the woman, who we don't know who it is. She dismissed it. Jay-Z said he would die before he would settle on that case. So something happened behind the scenes to cause that lady to dismiss it. But clearly, Jay-Z said he would die, his own words, he would die before he would settle in that case. That right there told me, something was true about that. Something was true. And I think they did what they had to do in order to get her to dismiss it. But then there was also back and forth, because the clip that I just played you, where the guy was talking about Jay-Z, you know, agreeing to put Kendrick Lamar on the halftime show and basically call out Drake and telling the whole world that Drake is a pedo or whatever. It was kind of, you know, like, in a sense, Jay-Z gaslighting, right? Because he says that, you know, you can't play with that kind of stuff, especially toward a guy like him. But he was also responsible for putting Kendrick Lamar on the stage, who basically told the whole world that Drake was something, you know, that allegedly he's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of like gaslighting and kind of being like hypocritical at the same time. You know, it's like, if you don't want nobody to play with your name, why would you allow an artist to perform a song that says and another artist is a pedo? You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was very interesting. That's pretty much all I got for this one, y'all. I may throw this other clip at the end and not come back and really talk, but I didn't want to, you know, make it too long. I definitely wanted to get on here and talk about it, and especially with the symbolism that Jay-Z was promoting in this this shoot for the GQ cover and the interview that he did, right?
I gotta watch that interview.
It'll definitely be interesting with some of the stuff that we'll probably continue to see from Jay-Z to, you know, I guess cover his tracks, right? But with that being said, man, y'all get down in the comments and let me know what y'all think about this one. Also, you know, let me know what y'all want to see.
Hit the like button, subscribe button. Appreciate if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I think Jay-Z is a wild boy. Always been a wild boy. I never rocked with his music for real. I think he's a great lyricist. But me, my soul, never resonated with his music. I never was playing Jay-Z in my headphones. Just none of that, bro. He's just a goofy to me, honestly. But, hey, he do make good music, folks. But, yeah, I'm out of here, man. Appreciate you, man, all the way to the end of the video, bro.
On the channel.
Cushy, I love it. Hey, cushy, I love to use it. It's therapeutic, flow sick. Be throwing up. It's therapeutic, Glock 6 with extra clip. I'm very suited, money getting.